Hi, I'm Jacqueline City, CEO of Jacqueline City Apparel, which is an inclusive clothing line that's been featured in Vogue and New York Fashion Week. And this is how to plan a photo shoot. So as a designer, I definitely have that perspective, but I have been a model and actress, and I do deal a lot with photographers and that sort of thing, so hopefully I can speak from every perspective. But the first thing that I always do as a designer who is casting shoots is I post a casting call. And I usually post these in Facebook groups, which there are a lot of Facebook groups where you can connect locally with photographers and models and designers, and they're all in one group, even makeup artists and stylists. So I post about like a basic run through of what the shoot will be, at least the things that I can release, because sometimes it's under wraps if like the theme of a collection, like for instance Paris Fashion Week is in October, and I'm not going to release the theme or any of the items beforehand. So I will just write Paris Fashion Week shoot, will be used in guaranteed media publication. Everybody will be credited. It needs to be this month. It'll be in Philadelphia. And then it'll have to be like TFP, which means time for print. And that means it's unpaid, but you would get credit in all these media publications. So there are two types of shoots. There are paid shoots and unpaid shoots, and the unpaid shoots would be called TFP usually. It means time for print, and it means that a photographer who has rates who usually gets paid, and a model who has rates usually gets paid, will be able to do a collaboration, and those rates kind of cancel out and they both use them for their portfolio, so it's mutually beneficial. And for my shoots, because they're used on TV or they're used in magazines, and the photographer and the models who are new get to get their name out there, in those instances, we usually do some sort of collaboration where we can all use the photos for our books. A lot of times you'll hear the word books, which means another word for portfolio. Yes. So in the Facebook group, I'll post like a little run through, and people can comment, email, and send in their comp card. We call it comp card in acting, and then if it's modeling, it's called your digitals or your Polaroids. More commonly right now, you'll see digitals, which is usually at least one photo of your head, like a headshot, and then one photo of your body, which is usually in a non-branded, no logo, plain black or white t-shirt and jeans, and no makeup, or very little makeup, like very little makeup, and just like plain straight at the camera usually, just so we can get a good idea of your face and your body type. And then it will have your measurements, your name, your sizes, maybe an email or an Instagram. Instagram's really popular right now, so you should probably include those if you do make a physical card. And the physical cards are great for when there are in-person castings. So this all might happen, like I want to get interest on there, and then I'll have an in-person casting where I watch you walk if it's a runway show, or I just get a feel for you and your personality. But if it's an event, there's usually some sort of in-person casting, but right now there's no events. So yeah, I go through all the emails, I cast based on who I think will be a best fit for the project. So if you don't get an email, that doesn't mean the next time you see that casting that you shouldn't apply. It's kind of like who's the best for that specific role. Even if you're just modeling, it's kind of like you're filling a role of the type of person that we would like to reach. So I go through and choose, and I choose the photographers. I nail down a date that works for everyone, or the date was in the original posts. And then I want to get everybody on the same page with the hair and makeup and the stylists and the location. So I make what is called a call sheet, and it has all of the information like emergency contact. Like if you had a flat tire and you couldn't come the morning of, it would be a great way to reach me, because I'm always going to be running around the day of the shoot. So everything really important will be on the sheet, like the location, your call time, what you should wear to the shoot, your Instagram names so that people can tag you in the photos when they are posted, and information about the shoot, whether or not you can post behind the scenes. There might be safety and health precautions, that kind of thing. So definitely read through any paperwork you get. I make a call sheet, and I can probably post the template somewhere. And it definitely really helps us all get on the same page, and you know exactly where you're going. The set, people who are working on the set decoration will know exactly where the props are coming from, who has the props, who's bringing what time to be there, that kind of thing. So it's really important. And those will be emailed out to the models, and it has your sizes and everything so that we can even dress you. And it has your time for hair and makeup, the hair and makeup's Instagram and everything, so you could tag them so everybody gets their credit. It has the themes of the shoot so that you can start to think about the emotions that you'll portray in the editorials or in the photo shoot, and then you can start to think about pose ideas based on those emotions, based on the story you're trying to tell, and that kind of thing. Because a lot of times there's a lot more to it if it's an editorial versus if it's just your product photos. So product photos are kind of just plain, you're just photographing the items themselves, like a t-shirt or your jeans and that kind of thing. But for an editorial, you're capturing more of a feeling, more of high fashion, making people feel something. So there's definitely a lot of different types of photography, so definitely that part depends on what kind of image you're trying to portray. But I think a good place to start are making proposals if you are a photographer, and even if you're working with a brand, bringing a proposal to a brand with like a color story, ideas of models, reference photos. For my collections, I always make a mood board, which I send to the photographer so they can get a better idea of what we're trying to portray, how I would like the photo to turn out, how I would like it to be edited, that kind of thing. If you do want non-edited photos, you have to let them know. Models usually don't get them, but the brand usually will. And there's usually a turnaround of around 2 to 4 weeks at when I will get the photos, and it may be months before you're able to publish them or you're able to use them on your Instagram and everything, because if they're going to a publication, we have to wait for that publication to go to print, because they usually will only print things that are exclusives, and print happens usually 3 months in advance. So you have to be careful, and you have to know whether or not you're allowed to post the images, especially because photographers own the copyright to all the photos they take. The models don't. So I know it's your likeness, but they do own the copyright, so you have to run it through them and run it through the brand if you're working with a brand, whether or not you're able to use the photos or able to do behind the scenes photos and that kind of thing, because it might be a secret. So usually the photo shoots are around 2 hours to 8 hours. It depends on how many models you have to photograph. Mine are usually 2 or 3 hours, but if you're photographing everyone at once, then it might be an all-day shoot. So you'll arrive to set wherever holding is, wherever you're getting your hair and makeup done. Get your hair and makeup done, and then you'll get dressed and styled. And then you'll go to the location, and you will travel to the location, take the photos, and then you have to return the clothing items, and then you're usually free to go. If it's a big shoot, definitely bring like reading material or something, because you will be waiting around a lot. But if it's like a short shoot and there's only like 2 or 3 models, then you'll probably be like go, very busy. So a quick difference between agency signed models and non-agency signed models. Usually agency signed models are paid because their agency gets a percentage of what they make. So they're kind of like the middleman. They get the jobs. If you're an actress and you're a signed actress, your agent would be going out and getting you those jobs. And if there's a role in TV or a movie that's kind of like a secret, your agency will get that information, will get the insider information. And that's an advantage over unsigned talent, because the unsigned talent wouldn't be able to find the right person to kind of get their information to get like an audition or a go-see casting call, that kind of thing. So there is that advantage, but an advantage for unsigned models would be that you get to pick your own work and really make sure it's who you are and be true to yourself, as opposed to your agency picking what you take for you. I'm sure there are a lot of great agencies that do really consider your opinions and what you should take, but I just mean that you can take whatever you want if you're unsigned. And you can create your own rates to present to people. So if you want to start modeling, a great thing would be to just use your own Instagram, edit your photos, post them, and use model hashtags, especially local model hashtags, and then follow local photographers. You can do so by clicking on your city location and then seeing all of the photos that are most popular. They might be taken by photographers because they're most likely high quality. So go and follow all of them, and then they might reach out to you, or you can reach out to them, ask if they would be interested in like a TFP shoot for you to help get a portfolio. And I would say definitely join a lot of the Facebook groups. I would personally stay away from Model Mayhem, but you might have success on it. I think just bring a person to the shoot that you trust. I wouldn't really want anyone to be in a dangerous situation. So if you are meeting up with a photographer that you don't know and it's not a shoot with like a lot of people and it's just you and the photographer, I would ask if you could bring someone, because there are a lot of scary situations out there. So definitely be really careful. Definitely look out for any signs of it being a scam as well, and look at the kind of content that he does make and the kind of portfolio he has, just to make sure that it seems legitimate and that it seems like a good opportunity for you. And look out for the lack of location in emails, because if there is no location, it might just be a spam email that they're sending to a lot of people. So definitely look out, for any sort of scams where it gives you a legitimate brand and a legitimate pay scale, but there is no location. So it just says your location here or your city, but there's no actual location. Or if it's like in the middle of like a hotel or something, definitely be really careful about that, or the person's home. I would be really careful about that. Just if you do see someone that you're not really sure about, maybe you could see the models that they have worked with, or the designers they've worked with, and reach out to them and ask them their opinion. And just be really careful. So here's a review of how to plan a photo shoot. Number 1, you create a casting and you post it, and then you go through all of the models and photographers and you cast the shoot. Then you'll reach out and put all of their information in one document called a call sheet. You will send the mood board to the photographer so they have a good idea of exactly what you will be doing. And then you set the location and everything on that call sheet. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Then you'll style it. Make sure everybody has their outfit that they know that they're going to wear. And you just kind of keep track of that and any props you need. And then on the set, just make sure everybody's really safe during these times and everyone wears a mask on set or is tested, or both. On the day of the shoot, I would just send out a reminder email so everybody remembers that the shoot is today, it's here, here's the call sheet again, here's your contract, make sure you give me your signed contract, and just be really professional, make sure you have all of the things that were asked of you, and then expect your photos usually within a month unless there is a publication date. If it's in a paid location or you use a paid photographer or you have paid models, just make sure you keep track of everyone's rates and that they get them on time. And if you are agency signed, they usually send you on test shoots for the studio. So if you're just starting out, I don't think if you're a model, I don't think you have to pay for photos. I would just say take your own digitals. So if you are interested, definitely apply to agencies, but you don't have to. You can start locally. But yes, that's how you would plan a photo shoot. And if you have any more questions, let me know. But thank you. Bye.